Welcome to Paddling Adventures Radio. I'm Sean Rowley, and with me is Derek Speck.
Hello.
Do you realize we've been saying that for 8 years now?
Nope.
This Saturday is 8 years since our very first episode.
Yeah, but I sampled different sign-ons. Like it was...
changing your socks.
I tried a few different things for the first dozen or so episodes. I think I've
been saying this for 8 years now.
Yes.
And then you came up with the yellow.
Yeah, and I think originally and I never did it, but it's like we joked. I said, "Hi, I'm Sean Rowley, and I'm Derek, and I'm not wearing pants."
And I'm still not wearing pants. 8 years later, we record pantless. Lots happened in 8 years.
Yep. If we switch to YouTube, I'll have to wear pants.
Why?
I guess the table will cover.
The table will be in the way. It's not like we're putting the... Or maybe we do the YouTube below the table so you can't see the top half of us.
There you go.
Right? You just see legs moving for an hour.
You just hear the voice, the mumbling above the table.
Mumbling above the table. That's a new YouTube thing. What are they saying? What? Why is it just their legs?
Yeah, that'll work.
Derek's got hairy... No, wait. Those aren't Derek. Derek shaves his legs.
But yeah, so 8 years.
8 years now. February 17th is 8 years since our very first episode.
And so tonight is 417?
Yep. It's a lot of beers.
Yes.
And we've only missed one episode, and we made it up by having 2 episodes a couple weeks later.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Done good. It's I'm curious what people think of the whole thing. Like I suppose like a lot of people have come and gone. We have new listeners. Like every time we talk to somebody about it at a show or something, I'm just trying to catch up, or you bump into people who used to listen to it. I haven't had time anymore, and so it's one of those things. It's I'm sure a lot of people have come and gone, and
but we still have our core listeners that have been there since the beginning.
Yeah,
that are still listening every week.
And our numbers are still holding up there from the for downloads and stuff.
Yep, and went through the whole COVID thing and managed to get through that. So
I know. Imagine if we had a marketing machine behind us. What we could be.
What we are now.
Well, there's a lot
awesome.
There's a lot of people in the paddling communities that just don't know we exist.
Well, that's their loss.
I'm just saying, if we had a marketing machine.
Any marketing machines out there?
Yeah.
That don't want to be paid?
Well, okay. There is that.
There you go. Now we're having it.
Yeah.
Well, this marketing machine...
Ah, yes.
We went back to... Well, it's a half and half night with the non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
And apparently you can't handle the good stuff because that's all you've got left.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard numerous people talk about Guinness, and I love me some Guinness. But there's Guinness Zero.
Yes.
Has a little ball in it. 0 alcohol. They say that is the closest thing you're going to taste to the real thing when it comes to beers.
And not have alcohol.
And not have alcohol, and it is pretty close.
It is close. Like I could taste the difference, but if you're just sitting there sipping it, because we have a can of normal Guinness and a can of non-alcoholic Guinness next to each other, and so you can, if you go back and forth, you can taste the slight difference. But otherwise, they're so close that if you were just poured a glass of this at a pub or something, you'd not know.
It acts the same in the glass and everything, with all the little waterfall underneath there.
Yeah, the cascading bubbles. And, yeah.
There's a lot of empty glasses on this table now.
There is. Yeah. You have a lot of dishes to do later.
What's this we?
You.
What's this you? I got a dishwasher upstairs. Just got to carry them up there and put them in the dishwasher. So our quest for... I think that's the end of our quest for non-alcoholic beer that actually tastes right. Mm-hmm. On the regular stuff.
Yeah, we stumbled over a couple that weren't so good. Some that were not too bad.
Yep.
Some really depended on how cold it was.
Yes. Well, that's what I found is it's got to be cold.
Mm-hmm.
to have any chance.
And there's all kinds of processes that they remove the alcohol from the beer to give you the non-alcoholic beer. But, some of them are, they say there's all kinds of different methods. And I was looking up earlier, I think I found 5 different methods to remove the alcohol. I didn't see the one where they filter it through a dirty sock on the list, but there was a couple of them that tasted like it was filtered through a dirty sock.
Yeah, maybe they don't use a sock. Maybe use like an old pair of underwear or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's closer to the taste, yeah. Anyway.
But these were good. This Guinness.
This Guinness is pretty good.
0% Guinness is really, really good.
So you'd have to take one home with you.
Yeah, I want Siobhan to try it.
Yeah. Speaking of, you guys are not going winter camping this weekend.
No, we are not. So just talking to people, we didn't want to go too far to find snow.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And so I know a couple people who live up right on the border of the park. And one of them, Dan was, he has been he runs and jogs in the area. So he said he hasn't had to stop all winter because there's never been too much snow. And he said in the woods, in the park itself, it's kind of a couple crusty layers with powder layers in between, and it's just not going to be conducive to snowshoeing or playing in the snow for the weekend with the kids. And so if I'm going to be a cold summer camping, really.
Is there still open water?
There is still open water.
Really? Mm-hmm. In the park?
Well, no, I don't know how far in we could go, but that's, I don't know if I'd want to risk that because then we are going to get more snow and the temperatures are dropping.
Oh, I'm talking about me. Because we are going up there camping.
So you need to bring your canoe.
That's what I'm saying. If there's open water.
Yeah, Lake or Two Rivers would be open. I don't know about Mule Lake itself.
It wasn't, though. Mule Lake wasn't.
No.
No, at New Year's, and Lake of Two Rivers wasn't either.
The weather's been mild.
Yeah, well,
down here. Mild down here.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Interesting. Remind me, and I'll ask Dan at work tomorrow.
Yeah. I should shoot a couple emails up to Algonquin and see if there's anything open up that way to get my February paddle in.
Opianco Outfitters, or a couple of those places might still be open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Algonquin Outfitters.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to Gord right in Oxtongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was supposed to go.
Because you haven't paddled February yet.
No, I was going to go on Sunday, but last Friday I was walking the dog and took a little bit of a twist. And my lower back just like,
oops.
Enough of that. So didn't do anything all weekend because I couldn't move.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, unless somebody was going to put me in the boat, paddle me around, take me out of the boat.
Yeah.
Other than that, could you imagine with this? Because your lower back, like the bottom, like the top of your butt.
Yeah.
When you can't even bend and you can't stand up straight. Could you imagine trying to get in and out of a kayak?
Oh, no, I can't.
With that?
And you did this walking the dog.
Yeah, I stepped on something and I slipped. And we both wobble, but we don't fall down. But we twist funny.
Yeah, there you go.
And just all of a sudden, I could feel it tweak. It was like, okay, it's not bad. Finished the walk, drove to work, got out of the truck, and that's enough of that.
You are a specimen of human physique.
Oh, let me tell you. Rocking the dad bod. That's what we're calling it these days, right? What else was going on?
Well, this week is Valentine's week.
Yep, it is. It is.
So
I got to do the dinners, the flowers.
I didn't
cakes,
say what I'm doing instead of camping.
Oh yeah, what are you doing instead of camping?
Yes. So instead of camping, we had looked into a couple places. Like we looked at resorts up north and stuff like that, but nothing's going to have snow. And the forecast has changed, so there might be snow now. But everything we looked at is like, well, how far north do you have to go do? Because one of the options was Lake Nipissing. We had considered renting a fishing hut on Nipissing.
A guy at my work just did that last weekend.
Yeah, and so that was a thought. And but in the end, we decided that we were just gonna go lame and all. And we're taking the kids. We're going to go to Ottawa. We're going to stay downtown Ottawa for a couple nights. And if we might have done a weekend up north if it wasn't for the fact that Stella, she's in band at school and she's got a concert on Friday. So we lose the Friday night. So we're gonna head up on Saturday, and my sister's in Ottawa, so we'll visit her and we'll do a tour, go to the airplane or the War Museum or something like that. And so there you go. That's what we're gonna do.
Museum of History.
And I don't think the Rito's open. I think they had opened and reclosed it.
Last I saw it was closed. I don't know if they reopened or not.
Yeah, because
go downtown for beaver tails.
Yeah. So we were hoping to get out on the Rito, but apparently it's not safe.
Yeah, throw your skates in the car anyway.
Well, if it's open, we could go bring the canoe.
Right?
But I don't think it's open. It's just unsafe.
It's just unsafe. Well, throw the kids in. It'll be open.
Scream if you fall through.
There you go. Yeah, other than that, not too much happening these days. It's gearing up for lots, but...
And you're going camping.
I'm going camping. We're going up to Mule Lake in Algonquin.
There you go.
This is usually our last...
Family
camping,
day weekend, yeah.
Family day weekend, winter in the wild. And this is usually our last winter camping weekend of the year before we start gearing up for... Well, because all the trade shows and everything.
Exactly.
It
gets busy this time of year.
Yeah, all the outdoor shows and stuff like that.
Oh,
we used to call them trade shows from work.
I gotta remember to find my passport.
That might be a good thing. So, where's Derek? Well, it's like this.
He couldn't make the trip.
Yeah. Otherwise, I will be the only one at the Quiet Adventure Symposium in Michigan.
Exactly.
I know where mine is, and I know it's not expired.
Yeah, mine's good for another 8 years or so. I got a 10-year one.
Yeah, we had a 10-year one about 9 years ago. I think it's due in August or something this year. Yeah. So this summer will be the last time I use it. Mm-hmm. Till I get a new one.
They won't let you fly on it if you're within 6 months of expiry.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
So
if you're going for like a week somewhere,
maybe if you're because we'll talk offline. They say that if it's within 6 months, say you go to Europe, Mexico, whatever, they can't guarantee that you're going to be back in time because you might screw up and get injured, and then your passport expire, and then there's all kinds of stuff. So there's it depends on the airline. They would.
Welcome to Pete's Discount Airlines. No passport, no problem.
I've heard too many stories of people going on a trip and no, your passport expires in 6 months. So we're not going to let you. You're not allowed to board. Yep.
That just shows how much I go.
It happened to a couple in Nova Scotia there in the fall or something. They were, as a group of four, they were flying in London, England or something, and instead of the four of them going, 2 people went.
Is this not posted somewhere?
I don't think so. It happens. People find out about it because they run
at the
across.
Last minute?
Yeah, it's like, but I just spent $10,000 on this trip. Too bad. Should have checked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's dirty pool.
I've heard of it happening a lot.
That's dirty pool.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yes.
So.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Find your passport.
Yeah. Mine's good. Mine's dated good. It's Siobhan knows where it is. I think I could see it right now in my head. It's in the walk-in closet. It's in your
wicker underwear
basket.
Drawer.
It's in the wicker basket.
Oh, it's in the wicker basket in your underwear drawer next to the socks.
Because we have to keep them in a spot where it's easy to remember because we have 4 passports, right?
Where it's easy to remember.
I used to have a special...
Where is it? I don't remember. Do you want to say that again, but slowly?
You know what I mean. I had forgotten earlier, and now I'm starting to remember where it is. But I don't know. Last time I used it, I don't remember if I put it back in.
Uh-oh. Do I need to call your wife?
Yes.
Yes, I think I better. Dear Siobhan, your husband's an idiot. I know exactly where mine is. So I'll be going down to see the rabbits with or without you.
There you go. You
and Kevin Callan.
Yeah. You and Kevin Callan.
All right, let's get on with this.
Yes.
Been yapping too much.
Yeah. Enough of this palaver. Let's get this show on the road.
Pitter patter. Let's get at her. So, John Boyle, a writer for the Asheville Watchdog in North Carolina, he does opinion pieces. I've been seeing a lot of opinion pieces lately, and
a lot of people have
videos,
a lot of opinions,
and that just seem to be opinions. Everybody's opinion. But this one, because last few years, I look at all these waterfall kayakers and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool to see it. You'll never catch me doing it.
No.
Even if by accident, I still wouldn't do it.
Well, there was a video that we played at last year's Paddling Film Fest.
Yep.
And it was their goal. The guy's goal was he wanted to get the biggest drop, and I think he achieved it. Or was it a girl?
That was Nuria Newman.
Anyways, they fractured neck and then got back on board and
no Nuria did the 110 meter one. We saw that one.
Oh, there's two. Yeah, we also did one where the woman got injured.
He got injured.
Yeah.
And, is that Scott? Yeah. Anyway, but then there was the other one. The guy wanted to go over a waterfall, and because he found out he's limited lifespan.
Yes, tumor.
Yeah, and he wanted to do that, so he did that. Anyway,
so
over the last few years,
there's been a lot of this.
There's a lot.
It's exciting to see it. It's so, and every time I've seen it, it's people who know what they're doing, and they've done a lot of practice, a lot of training. This is their life.
So there's this place called Looking Glass Falls down in North Carolina, and his opinion piece was kayakers' trip over Looking Glass Falls reckless or just kind of amazing? And it depends on your point of view on the whole thing at the end of the day.
Everybody has their own opinion.
Right? Says, having lived here for nearly 30 years, I visited Looking Glass Falls probably 100 times in all seasons, including one super cool experience a few years ago when it was almost completely frozen.
Oh, well,
that's pretty cool. Niagara Falls used to be frozen. Used to freeze.
Yep.
And they set up a little village at the bottom of the falls.
Mm-hmm. 1916, I think, the last time it froze.
Yeah, because my grandmother said that they used to go when she was a little girl. Mm-hmm. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Never once did I consider someone would go over the doggone thing in a kayak. I heard about one guy who went over it swimming, and that didn't work out too well, as I recall.
Yep.
Falls is about 60 feet high. And while it has a pool at the bottom, it's not nearly as deep as you would think.
Or like.
I've touched bottom without difficulty while swimming there in the summer. So I was gobsmacked when I saw a Facebook video of Ryan McAvoy going over the falls. First, I watched McAvoy's GoPro video in which you can see him navigating the stream above the falls, then plunging seemingly forever into whitewater abyss. And that's the
it's not a big deal.
That's the cliche thing. You see from the kayaker's point of view.
You're tipping over.
And then you see you see him go down.
Water.
And then you see somebody from the side with theirs.
Yeah.
He clearly comes out of his boat, but he makes it, and without injury. Honestly, it's amazing, enthralling, and just flat out incredible. I should also know that McAvoy did this during an extreme high water event after heavy rains, which apparently is the only time someone can even attempt this. Bystander also posted a video of McAvoy going over, and while it's tough to make him out, you can really see only a blur of green kayak falling down the cascade. It highlights just how high water flow was that day. Area got several inches of rain that day and the days leading up to it, so the stream and waterfall were absolutely wild. And that's exactly it. So you can see...
Yep.
You know, that's a lot of them. You see the videos, and the guys coming over. So they got their team down there taking some video, and you see them at the top, and then they sort of disappear. Sometimes you'll catch a little blur of them on the way down, and then boom, eventually they pop up in their kayak or outside of their kayak or that sort of deal. That's typically how it goes. Apparently, a half dozen other folks have done this, including one guy who sustained a broken back, according to online commenters. So McAvoy isn't the first, and is clearly not recommended by emergency medical and safety professionals. The video stirred up a lot of heat on social media, with supporters lauding McAvoy as a true badass paddler and critics lambasting him for potentially putting his life and possibly those of EMS workers at risk should his plunge have resulted in serious injury. So you got clearly two sides. You're great for doing it. You suck for doing it. You're not the first, but was he trying to be the first?
And so I know where the story's going. So what I can say is, like, as with anybody, when you're preparing to do something like this, you're not just not. It's just not going to be a flippant trip. You're not just going to.
It's not on a whim.
No, it's not on a whim.
Oh yeah, there's a big waterfall. Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'll take a peek over. Yeah, it looks good. I'm going.
I'm sure it's deep at the bottom.
For something like this, you don't do that.
Yeah, and so a lot of people with the stronger and trolling opinions, they don't look into the research that has been gone into doing something of this level.
Mm-hmm. Initially, McAvoy had posted the video with the message, "Looking glass, I've accomplished one of the loftier goals I've ever had with kayaking today. This is the scariest drop I've ever run. If you've seen the waterfall, you know why. Stoked to take no impact and walk away unscathed. Thanks to the safety crew for making the dream come true. Hashtag what's next." That apparently led to a lot of negative commentary. McAvoy added that what I thought was a thoughtful, well-crafted note, I'm running it in its entirety. Disclaimer, and he printed it all in caps.
Yes.
Disclaimer, do not attempt. This was performed by professionals with years of experience. And the fact that he's now got to come back and put something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like, hate all the negativity surrounding this post. Please note, I've been kayaking for 19 years. I've had a full safety team in place capable of any rescue scenario that may have been needed. I've trained the last 6 years for this moment. I have nothing but respect for rescue squads. I would never want to put someone else's life in danger. There was no scenario where my crew would need to call river rescue. They were overly prepared for the worst case scenario. I'm the 7th kayaker who has gone over the falls. It's normal with any sport to naturally progress and want to push harder. I'm also the only person who was at any risk. My safety team was fully capable of dealing with the pool below. For a trained team, a rescue at the bottom of this falls isn't life-threatening. The access to the pool is phenomenal, regardless of the water level. We had ropes, pulleys, trained medical personnel, the kayakers with all the gear on site. We talked about all scenarios that may happen and all agreed it was the right day, the right water level to do it. This was not a stunt. I am not an adrenaline junkie. This was driven simply by my passion and love for the sport of whitewater kayaking. This was a very calculated decision, and the risk was mitigated as much as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions or concerns if anyone wants to message me. Please, everyone, stay safe. Don't hike near the top of any waterfall. Stay on designated trails and trust your gut. These mountains provide amazing resources for all levels of recreation, but we must be smart and safe about it.
There you go.
Right? So, John Boyle goes back into his opinion piece here. Says, I don't endorse people going over these kinds of waterfalls at all. Despite all the precautions, if something bad did happen, professional emergency services personnel would have to come out regardless of any private preparations McAvoy and his team made. David McNeil, assistant county manager of Transylvania County, where Looking Glass Falls are located, is a paramedic by trade and spent years working in fire and rescue services. As you may suspect, he frowns upon Looking Glass kayak drop. That's a dangerous thing, really, and it might promote other people to do the same thing, and even people with less skill, McNeil said. Our concern is that more and more people might try to do something like that, which we discourage heavily. If they happen to do it and they get hurt, then we have to send our emergency services personnel to do a rescue. When the rescue folks have to go out in these cases, it really puts them at great risk. So the question is, do you now say that these people can't do what they want to do because somebody... So you should not go out and drive F1 vehicles because I may take jump out of my Ford F-150 into an F1 vehicle and try to race just as fast as you do.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm going to die. But that, in essence, that's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
You know, he's taking all the safety risks. He's taking all the training. If you're not skilled enough to do it,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be rude about it,
yeah.
Darwin's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's a Darwin Award just happened, you know, waiting for you. But if you don't have the skills and the prep and the training and all the people and support to do something like that, then
you shouldn't
don't do it. It's that simple. Don't do it.
And I agree, like, if regardless of who's doing it, if once rescue becomes involved, like, it could be as simple as the rescue people could have a car accident on the way there. It might not have anything to do with the waterfall itself. It's just you're having people go out of their way to show up at a certain location. Like, maybe, you know, you could have a helicopter that crashes, you could have a car that crashes, whatever, right?
On their way to get you.
There's always a risk in everything that happens. But and what he's saying here is, like, why promote anything that's going to potentially bring harm to anybody else? And it's like, well, then we wouldn't do anything really in the world.
Right?
Like, we're not going to go to space. We're not going to climb mountains.
I'm not going on a canoe trip because
I'm not going to drive down the 401 because it's dangerous.
Right?
Right?
That's sort of my take on it.
I can see where there's excess risks, and ill-informed people who are ill-prepared to... I always, in my opinion, if I'm going to go anywhere to do anything, my first thought is, how am I going to achieve self-rescue? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do everything I can to be informed and trained, you know, like first aid and all this, and you have all your first aid kits, and, you know, there's always something that's going to, not first aid is not going to help, but, you know, it's everybody has to take those risks if they want to do the things that they love doing.
You can't put all the blame and responsibility on somebody who's done it proper.
Yep, exactly.
Because somebody who didn't do it proper got hurt. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that makes no sense. Mm-hmm. You got to put the blame where the blame is.
Yeah.
And somebody that's like he says, 6 years have gone into training for that. Mm-hmm. And somebody just one weekend goes, hey, stay at the bottom in case something happens.
Yeah.
Well, something's going to happen. And you can't put the blame on guys like him.
Yeah.
So this David McNeil, the guy that used to be a paramedic, he mentioned an incident during the same heavy rainfall event, which a small boat overturned on the French Broad River, dumping several people in high water. Emergency medical service rescuers went out to get them, and their boat also overturned, leading to a very dangerous situation. Everyone was rescued, but it could have been much worse.
Yeah, and that's not people doing excessive. That's just people in a boat. Yeah. They weren't running the falls. They weren't doing... It was just...
It could happen anywhere. Accidents are called accidents because that's what they are. Mm-hmm. Jennifer Bunty, a spokesperson with the North Carolina Forest Service, says, first, it's important to note that McAvoy did not break the law. So I guess that was an issue. And of course, you know, posting this on social media, you know the trolls are just sitting there anyway.
That's illegal.
Right? There's all the trolls just waiting to jump all over this sort of stuff. In the case of this kayaker, what we saw was not illegal as he was traveling on a navigable waterway in North Carolina. But we ask that people use their best judgment and act safely and responsibly. She and McNeil pointed out that the waterfall injuries and deaths are fairly common in western North Carolina, which has hundreds of beautiful falls that attract a variety of users. Most of these deaths come from people walking around the tops of the waterfalls, often going past signs that warn of the danger. How many people do you see that step over that little fence and go, just to get that better look or that photo or whatever?
That bugs me when people do that.
Bunty says Forest Service want the public to enjoy public lands, but they don't want people getting hurt or dying. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. It's no secret that kayaking, especially whitewater kayaking, carries inherent risks. In some cases, it attracts adrenaline junkies looking for a rush that comes with big water. Honestly, I admire these folks as I think they're just wired differently and have incredibly high risk tolerances, which I decidedly do not. And you've got to know where your risk tolerance is.
Exactly. And hopefully you learn whether you have an inflated opinion of your risk tolerance, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people think, oh no, I can risk a lot here, and then they're wrong. So it's really comes down to your skill and how you plan for doing something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't just go from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Just because I've seen other people do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I paddle on Lake Ontario. I think I'm safe enough to paddle off Niagara Falls now. Right?
Go for it. We'll be at the bottom to catch you. In that vein, if you haven't watched Free Solo, a 2018 film featuring climber Alex Honnold, his ascent of Yosemite's El Capitan, rock face without ropes. Actually, we were just talking about a few of these people earlier tonight.
Oh yeah,
because I've got all these
were.
rock climbing VCR tapes. All you young'uns don't know what a VCR tape is. But when I used to rock climb, I have I've got dozens of VCR tapes I used to watch of all these guys climbing and stuff like that. If you watch it, says I highly recommend it. There's one scene in there where doctors are checking his brain's reactions to what would be fear-inducing images in most people, and Honnold just doesn't react.
Oh.
Like that panic isn't there.
Yeah.
Right? The fact is he and other adventurers like him are just wired differently. They are not going to be tethered to the office chair staring at a computer screen for 8 hours a day. Also consider this, probably the most dangerous thing any of us do every day is drive on the interstate or local roads, and that's statistically much more likely to result in an accident or death. So it's all about calculating that risk and then not putting others in danger, which looks like McAvoy took multiple steps to do.
Mm-hmm.
So remember when the big blackout happened across eastern Canada, United States?
Was that 2004?
Sure, why not?
It was way back then.
It was way back then. So we were out in the middle of Lake Simcoe on a boat.
Yeah.
And I guess when everything went out, I don't know exactly what happened, but it left the battery with enough charge to start the boat.
Mm-hmm.
So we left the dock.
Yeah.
And then we were out there. And then when we went to start it again, there was no charge left.
Oops.
And the guy I was with, the guy who owned the boat, looks at me, says, "What do we do?" And I'm like, just keep fishing. No panic, no nothing.
Yeah.
We're going to drift to shore.
Exactly.
Right?
We're not going to jump out and swim.
No. And so there's that no panic thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be like that.
Yeah.
You know? You can't just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, 0 to 100 for panic mode, yeah.
Yeah. So for a paddler's perspective, as one who has lost a loved one to whitewater, the author here, John Boyle, he says, I reached out to former Asheville City Councilman Mark Hunt, who started paddling a half-century ago. Hunt worked at Nantahala Outdoor Center as a whitewater kayaking instructor. He and his wife, Kat, were pioneers in the paddling industry in southeastern rivers. Their son, Taylor, died in a paddling accident in December 2015 in Ecuador. He was 22. He was in Class 5 whitewater. He was experienced at that level, and he was with 2 other people who had really good Class 5 experience. Class 5 rapids are the highest level of whitewater classifications, providing the biggest thrills but also posing the most danger. Hunt holds no grudge against the sport or top-tier paddlers like McAvoy who pushed the envelope. He does not believe the authorities should try to define which rapids are safe for whom or make some rapids off limits. That's just not part of the sport, and we're better off with skilled paddlers making those decisions for themselves and their groups, Hunt said. Sadly, people get injured and occasionally die in this sport, including my son, which I continue to carry grief about. However, I don't blame the sport or the people of the sport.
It's a mature way to look at it.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if you want to just go back to the F1 racing thing again, there's going to be accidents. People have died.
Yes.
The racing continues. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't just, someone died.
Yeah.
No more racing.
We don't
Ever.
can't do that anymore.
Yep. Oh, somebody died. No more cars.
Yeah.
Let's go back to horses. Well, people have been trampled by horses. No more horses.
Yeah.
We're walking everywhere.
Yes.
Like
People
there,
trip.
there comes a point. Hunt said he knows McAvoy a little bit, and he knows that whitewater is central to his life, as it is with many paddlers. I don't know Ryan well, but his skill level is highly respected among better paddlers in the region, he says. Looking Glass Falls is not the most difficult whitewater locals have run. I've got dozens of social media friends who post videos all the time while Looking Glass Falls is very challenging Class 5 on an almost daily basis when it's raining around here, I see similar whitewater being run by lots of skilled people, Hunt said, acknowledging that McAvoy's video created quite a social media stir. Hunt does stress that people should not put EMS personnel in potential danger, and he's confident that McAvoy took pains to put an adequate safety team in place. And we've seen that in all the videos we've watched and all that. These guys that are doing these things, they do. It's what part of their process.
Yes.
I would agree with anybody, including some of the authorities, that people need to have skills and experience and then gauge that carefully against the challenge they have taken on, Hunt says. And I trust that Ryan did that in this case. Whenever a highly skilled kayaker dies, people will say he knew the risks and decided to take them on. But sometimes there's more to the equation. I think that it is true to an extent at least, but I cannot help but thinking that enthusiasm and emotion gets in the way of objective evaluation of risk. Gosh knows that the adrenaline rush that comes with this stuff can be darn irresistible. Peer pressure from friends often fits in somewhere. Being able to say, I did it to others, especially when the route has been run by others, can be important from the ego standpoint. The lure of going pro can play a role, and the ubiquitous video cameras can also encourage risk-taking too. And some who are newer to Class 5 Rapids might assume that because so many others do this stuff, it must be a manageable risk. See, there's your mistake right there.
Yes.
You know? And if we want to go back to my December first attempt paddle there.
Yep. Oh,
when I went in December there, out kayaking.
And you had the panic
and
mode?
We went out just in Little Bay, and I just had that panic mode. I could have, John would say, are you sure? Like, we can keep going. If I would have given into that, who knows what would have happened? I could have been fine.
Who knows what your body was telling you?
Yeah. But, and and like you said, you've got it. It could be irresistible to, let's just go. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. There's a lot of worse.
You've got to gauge it that. You've got to, it has to be manageable risk.
Yeah.
Hunt says to consider two things. First, that you really try to get past the emotion and peer pressure when you are considering what to run or not. Evaluate risks and hazards as objectively as possible. You have to.
Yeah.
Just because you look at something one day and go, I can do that. I look at it and go, I'm not feeling
That's
it.
not for me.
Just because you're doing it I shouldn't feel I have to do it, right? That's like people going on, you're going down a rapid. You know what? I'm going to do the portage.
Portaging around.
I'm going to portage this one. If you want me to take some of your gear, or I'll take your dog with me or whatever.
Exactly.
We'll see you at the bottom. What others have done before or what others in your group are choosing to do that day should be discounted in that calculation. The Brethren of Class 5 boaters has a high frequency of folks that are genetically blind to risk. Second, that you from a distance consider how far up the risk spectrum you really want to take yourself in the sport. And that's pretty solid advice. I don't know McAvoy, but it seems like he's a guy who took a lot of preparation and safety precautions in this endeavor, which was a life goal of his and succeeded. I hope he lives a long, happy, full life of safe paddling adventures.
Yes.
I like that opinion piece.
I do. Like I was, when I first read it, I wasn't sure, where's he going with this? Like, is this, because we read a opinion piece of somebody, it might have been, I don't think it was the same author, but it was about going down, and it was a long, windy route, and he was just rushing through to get to the end, and other people were saying, well, you don't stop and smell the flowers, and they talked about risk and everything as well, and it was, that one opinion piece was just constantly negative.
Yeah.
It was like maybe 15 episodes ago, maybe 20. Anyways, I just like, why are we reading this? This guy's so negative. Just a
Yeah, that was the one that was, where's your risk factor?
Yes.
Right? What do you consider risk?
Exactly.
You know, and how people gauge it differently.
Mm-hmm.
But this one here is like, because he's got the training, he's got all this, and there's a lot of people like him out there, and then there's people that don't.
Yeah.
And they're I can do that. And it's the people that watch those people without the training that are saying it's all these people's fault. Yeah. They shouldn't be doing this because other people are going to watch it. And with social media these days, it's so easy to, the term influencer comes around a whole lot.
Yeah, it's used too much.
And, he's a social media influencer. People watch all his videos, and if they see him doing it, they think they can do it. And
I like that John Boyle, when he wrote this, it's balanced. He did his research. He looked into it.
Yeah.
He has his opinion. He's balanced it out with other people's opinions. He's interviewed people for the piece. He's got some feedback. So it's a well-balanced article. It's actually turned out really, really nice. It wasn't just a smash and grab and he's just slamming people. It was he put some thought and emotion, and he did a really good job. I like how
if you want to follow one of these guys that are doing this, you want to follow McAvoy and try these things, you better have the training.
Yes.
You better have
Absolutely.
the safety crews.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, there's only one person to blame, and that's yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be blaming guys like McAvoy and the people that do this. Like I say, Nuria Newman, we watch her do that 110 meter one, right? And, she can do it because she's a girl. I'm going to go. You know what? You're an idiot.
Yes. Exactly.
You deserve what you get. So,
anyway,
I just found that article really enjoyable to read.
It was balanced. I liked it.
We did a review of Sean Jansen. He's the one that took the stand-up paddleboard down the Baja Peninsula, the Cortez there, and we figured, we wouldn't do that because we'd get sunburned way too easy.
Well, there's a sunburn part. There's the takes 2+ months to do it.
Yeah.
So there's that problem. Who has that kind of vacation?
Not me. I asked my boss, can I take 3 months off? Sure. Just take the rest of the year too.
Yeah. Don't bother coming back.
Nice knowing you. And he spells his name the same way I do, so he must be an awesome guy. One of the packs he took was the SealLine Pro Dry Bag.
Yeah.
Now, I've been using the SealLine 115 liter pack for at least 15 years.
Same one.
The same one. Well, not the same one, because he got the 120.
No. I'm saying you've been using that one bag.
Oh, that one bag for like
years.
15 years. I think it might be it could be closer to 16, 17 years, but it's in the 15-year range.
It's got some miles on it.
It's got some. It's dirty. It's been dragged across portages and thrown into boats and dropped and kicked and animals have ran over it. Mice have tried to chew through it to get food. I don't think a bear's gone after it. I had almost Hurricane Weathers drag it across because I used it to weigh down a tarp, one corner of a tarp, and it just dragged it like 100 meters across the site and into the woods. Yeah. It's gone through so much. I've hauled it and chucked it through an old forest fire area because we're having to go over all the old burned logs and stuff like that. And it's taken me. It's got one small pinhole on the side.
That's pretty good.
And there's a piece of black duct tape over top of it.
Yeah.
Nothing has ever gotten wet inside that thing.
That's impressive.
If there's ever a rainstorm so bad, I am emptying it and getting in it. I will be the only thing for if Noah's Ark happens again, I'm jumping in that bag. I'll be the only thing left dry.
What's the brand, the one that I use? It's
Don't you have a Eureka?
Yes, it's Eureka pack. So I think I'm on my third or fourth one. and they don't last that long. They get pinholes really easy. Like if on some trips, and I just know it's going to be a problem. Like if I'm on a trip where there's a lot of sand, then the pack is going to have new holes in it because the sand inside the canoe is going to wear holes in.
So I took this one on the trip up to Moosonee, up the Moose River.
And that's a lot of sand.
And there's a lot of sand. And Scott Robinson, the guy I went with, we had this Moose River sand quote that we kept saying all the time. And I don't know how long I went through that bag and like, Moose River sand. There's still sand in this
Still sand in this thing.
You know, it's got the straps, the back padding, and all that sort of stuff. And you'd shake it like 6 months later, and sand would be coming out. Right? Like I said, I treat it like crap.
Yeah.
But
you got your money's worth. I'm on my third or fourth one, and
when this one dies,
yeah,
I am getting a second one. Expensive,
yeah,
but so worth the money.
I just bought two new Eureka packs.
How much is the Eureka pack?
So Eureka packs, I just bought two of them. I bought a 110 or a 115 or whatever they are, and I bought a 70. I wish I could remember what they were. I bought them both at the same time from a place downtown Toronto. I'm going to guess at...
the 115, what do you think it was?
I'm going to guess at around 130.
So you bought, say, 3 of those?
Yeah.
So that's $400, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Easily. Plus shipping, plus taxes, plus whatever.
Yeah.
Plus all the patches.
So $500?
I spent a lot of money on patches. And
$600? I think when I bought that, it was like $200, $250. I can't remember which.
See, I keep
that
buying
was like 15 years ago.
I keep buying the Eureka pack because I like the way it packs.
Yeah.
It's got a flexible shell. So I can jam stuff in there and I'm not fighting the fabric. And I did buy, I wish I could remember the name brand, but it's I bought a new one. It's like a SealLine, but it's not. And it's tall and narrow. It's like a 110 or 105 liter pack. But it's just so hard to pack. It's got a rubber liner, like it's a really thick rubber.
Well, that's what this one is.
And just stuff doesn't slide into it. Like I'd have to whip out the talcum powder so I can pack the thing because everything wants to stick to the...
Yeah, and see, I'm like Tetris champion of the world. I can get stuff in it, but it's the same. It's a heavy duty, thick material.
Yeah.
And you're not... It's not expanding.
Yes.
You know, you've got so much space, it's not stretching sort of deal. So if you can't get those tent poles down the side, then you're pulling everything out, getting those tent poles in, and then trying to pack stuff back in properly.
Yeah.
You learn how to pack it, right? So he took this on, now his stand-up paddleboard was 12 feet, and he put this right at the front of the, and all the rest of his gear was at the back. So it was packed. He says, if you're in search of a multi-day expedition dry bag, look no further than the SealLine Pro Dry Pack 120 liter. So his is 5 liters more than mine. It's also newer.
Yeah.
This pack swallows and protects gear with layers of armor and buckles that hold it all in place.
Yes.
See, that's the thing is, mine, if I put stuff in there, it's not moving all over the place. It is solid. If I were to pick it up and throw it at you, it's going to hurt. It's like a brick, right? There's no give. There's no bend. There's no flexing. It is a brick coming at you. When SealLine launched the Pro Dry Pack, it was highly intrigued to take it on my stand-up paddleboard expedition down the Baja Peninsula. The pack is an evolution of a previous dry bag that I'd rigorously tested, the SealLine 115-liter Boundary Pack, which I took down nearly half of the Baja Peninsula, 150 miles through Yellowstone National Park, and a handful of overnighters elsewhere. I called the Boundary Pack the megamouth of dry bags. I'm thinking maybe that's what that one is, because it's an older one too.
And it's huge.
It's huge. Launched in 2019, the Pro Dry Pack had additional volume, more durable material, and enhanced comfort with padded shoulder and hip straps, making it easier to carry. So I opted to take this new design on my latest paddle expedition, supping the remaining 535 miles of the Baja Peninsula, which I completed in a 60-day stint at
Only
the tail
2 months.
end of 2023. In short, the SealLine Pro Dry Pack is $340 US at REI.
And we looked at prices earlier. We were seeing like Amazon had it for $330, $340. A couple places downtown Toronto had it for $4 something.
Yeah. Well, it's conversion rate too, right? So it's going to be more expensive here.
Well,
and that's even a lot more expensive. That's probably twice of what I paid for that one originally.
Yeah,
I bought that one from Mountain Equipment Co-op back in the day.
Yeah.
It's spacious, built for rigorous terrain, abrasion resistant, offers back support, is comfortable to carry even when fully loaded. I knew this would be the pack for the job of an extended overnight trip. My testing only proved that this bag could indeed handle loads of rigorous use on the water. The only other wear on my bag is there's the whole big backpack thingy.
Yeah.
The top, where my tailbone is, it rubs, right?
So if you're wearing a belt or whatever clothing you're wearing at the time.
So it's rubbed for 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's a big hole that's rubbed
in the
through.
Rubber padding,
Just on the back padding, not the pack itself.
And it's just a small hole. It's not that big of a hole.
So he gives some specs on this new one here. Material 600 denier polyurethane with coated polyester bottom, 400, denier. I've been looking at it. I've always pronounced it denier.
I know. I don't know how to say
denier. It's pronounced 6 different ways. Denier, polyurethane.
Plastic. 600 discounts plastic polyurethane.
Sides coated with nylon. The closure is a roll top with 2 additional over-the-top security buckles, which are perfect. Gear capacity, either 70 or 120 liters, because they have the 2 bags.
Yep.
The dimensions of the 120 liter are 18.5 inches by 12.5 inches by 32 inches. Weight of the 120 liters, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. So it's definitely not a light bag.
No.
Features a bathtub bottom reinforcement. Best used stand-up paddling, canoeing, and kayaking. I will 100% authenticate it. Pros: huge volume, submersible, reinforced protection at the base, plush shoulder and hip straps, easy, reliable roll-up top closure. So the top, you roll it down a few times.
Yep.
There's 2 on the side, 2 clips on the side that straps come up from the bottom to hold it down.
Yeah.
And then there's from the back, comes across the front in a crisscross.
Yeah.
Over the top to latch in the front to give you more to keep it down.
Now, do you know if the new one, like you had to add a strap because it didn't have the...
I looked at his doesn't have the bottom strap.
So you'd have to add it to that one
Yeah,
too.
so at the front, you see like your Eureka one has a handle at the bottom on the front.
Yes.
The SealLine does not. So I put 2 clips there, and you know how you can make those little rope bracelets and that?
Yep.
I wove one of those, but a longer one, and with 2 clips, carabiners in it, and I clip those on.
Exactly.
So that's my handle, and if I ever need rope in emergency,
there you go.
I got about 20 feet of rope right there. The only cons: expensive and heavy.
I question the heavy because it's not that heavy.
But, 5 pounds.
You know, yeah.
5 pounds. Your pack is starting at 5 pounds.
Yeah.
If you're trying to cut weight.
Well, if you're trying to cut weight, then you're not even trying to get things wet.
Right.
Because, you add another 5 pounds when everything's wet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like I say, the heavy with this, I wouldn't put it as a con. I'd put it as a comes with the territory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the expense thing, agreed, it's expensive. And I just, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, can you imagine if you're like Blackfeather or you're, any of these outfitting groups, and it's
you'd
like,
have to get a deal.
Like every year, it's like, I got to buy another 6 of these this year, and I had a couple of fail, and I've got to patch all my old ones, and or if you're an outfitter where you're renting all this gear, and it's like, we have like 30 of these bags in stock, and that's a lot of overhead.
That it really is. He says, I stressed out about the large volume of gear I would need to carry on this trip and manage while living on the sand. Opting for the larger pack between the 70 liter and 120 liter, the big volume swallowed all my gear just fine. The Pro Dry Pack is also easy to open with a classic roll top closure. 2 straps with buckles fold over the top closure, 2 for extra security. This pack will not open whatsoever if closed appropriately. I made sure to roll the top at least 3 times, which an inscription inside reminds you to do. Everything stayed dry on my entire adventure. Now, there's been times where I've had that thing packed to the gills.
Yeah.
And I've only got 1, maybe 2 rolls in it.
Might get
I've
wet.
Still not had issues.
Yeah.
Still never, and I've been in downpours. Now, if my opinion, this isn't his, this is mine. If you're tossing up between the 70 and the 120, go 120. You can always roll that down
exactly
to a 70-liter size, but you can't roll the 70-liter up to 120 liter size. It doesn't work that way.
But if you have the spare cash, get
if you got
one
the
of
spare
each.
cash,
One of each.
No, I'd get 2 of the 120. Well, you never know when you might go shopping along the way in the Baja. Find something that you just want to stick in there.
Well, I'm thinking the smaller packs because I know my kids aren't going to be able to carry that much weight, and so the various dry packs that I've got for them to carry, they carry, first aid kit and lunch and rain jackets and bug jackets, just light loads that have to go somewhere, so they get the small dry packs.
But just because it's a 120-liter pack doesn't mean you have to put 120 liters of stuff in it.
No, but if you have a 3-foot kid and this dry pack with the giant straps made for an adult, like how does Tracy do with wearing that backpack?
I laugh and I laugh.
Because even if you roll it all the way up, the straps are still
Well, that's why we ended up having to get her an Ostrom pack.
Yeah.
Because this one hits the back of her legs.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's for the kids. Until the kids are big enough, then I'm still buying a big and a small pack.
Yeah. If you're 6 feet tall, this pack's for you. if you're 5 feet, it's not for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be fitting yourself for a pack before you buy one.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's sort of, I guess it doesn't go without saying, but, you should fit yourself for a pack. That's why I don't like to order stuff online.
Exactly.
Right?
But with these are very coarse when it comes to fitting. This is not like I'm going to be doing the Adirondack Trail and so you need something that's going to fit perfectly to your body style. So you're going to try on about 8 or 9 different packs and see which one fits the curve of your back. These are just thrown on for a portage.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to wear this 5, almost 6 pound bag while trying to cut weight doing the Adirondacks. I'm going to take this 6 pound bag, cut my handle off my toothbrush to save weight. Ain't having it.
Yeah.
But yeah, my opinion for me, I would just buy the 120 instead of the 70 liter if I was tossing up.
Yeah.
Backpack, shoulder, and hip straps are where SealLine took this pack to the next level. Not to mention the build out with the sternum strap, breathable backpack, lumbar padding for the lower back, and also a full-length frame sheet for support. Do you use the chest strap?
I do.
Really? I can't.
I
It bothers me to no end.
So I adjust. So it's sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. If I'm doing like a 5 or 6 kilometer portage, there's a lot of adjustments partway through. I'm going to loosen up the chest strap a bit and might lengthen the shoulder straps a bit and put more tightness on the hip belt and then maybe lighten the hip belt, hang everything from my shoulders. It changes.
Yeah.
The only thing I've never been able to figure out how to use it properly and still be comfortable. Might be just me, but I can't use tump lines.
And see, I've
never been able to use them.
I've never given them much of a chance, but we bought one for Tracy's Ostrom pack to help her out a bit. So I might actually give that a whirl and see how well.
Suppose it would unload some of the pressure off of your shoulders and hips for a short time, but then it's compressing your spine on your neck.
It gives you a nice little strap mark across your forehead. Built with soft padded material, the shoulder straps and a hip belt sit nicely on my hips and shoulders. Nearly forgot the pack was loaded with a ton of gear. For more than 60 days, I lugged this pack to and from the water and onto the beach, shorter distances, twice daily. Despite the fact this bag was fully loaded with camping gear and food, I never dreaded the walk because the pack is a that comfortable against the back. A few times I even needed to carry the heavy bag for more than half mile to find a flat spot on the sand. Shoulder straps and waist belt are detachable too. I found that most dry bags turn out to be fairly delicate. Even waterproof fabric needs to be protected from the sharp and rough objects. The Pro Dry Pack doesn't care at all what you rub against or drop it onto. Material along with the base is 600 denier polyurethane coated polyester, and the sides are 400 polyethylene coated nylon. I accidentally set the pack down on a rusty barbed wire fence when it was at its heaviest weight with a resupply of food. The reinforced bathtub bottom acted like the sharp points weren't even there.
That's good.
Yeah, which is the key difference between the pack and the Boundary Pack, as well as many other dry packs. Like, I can set that on things.
Mm-hmm.
No problems.
Yeah.
No problems. The bottom acts like a helmet and a rain jacket. Despite also slamming this pack down on coral, cactus, spiny bushes, and lava rock, there isn't even a scratch on the material. This level of fabric strength meant I didn't need to worry about where the pack sat when I loaded up on rocks or coral or near thorny bushes. Yeah, I just taken it out of the canoe, because sometimes you're got 1 foot in the canoe, 1 foot on land, and you're trying to unload so that your canoe doesn't drift away. Or pick up the pack and just
throw it,
toss it.
Yeah,
right. I have 2 complaints with the pack. The first came at checkout. It is not a cheap purchase. Thankfully, scoured the internet and found one on sale, but the sticker price of $315 for the 70-liter, $340 for the 120-liter is without question an investment. But as I've learned, the cost is worth every penny. Pay. What is it? Buy once, cry once.
Yeah, buy once, cry once. Yeah.
Yeah. Second is weight. This is not a lightweight system. At 4 pounds, 12 ounces for the 70 and 5 pounds, 8 ounces for the 120. This dry pack isn't something I would want to take on a hike or portage very far. What do you Well, I just portaged that over the Dixon Bondfield.
Yes.
Right? That's a 5-kilometer portage. Removable sternum strap allows you to cut weight if needed, but if your gear is heavy, you might want to keep the strap on for support. Alternatively, its sibling Boundary Pack weighs 4 pounds, 2 ounces, a full pound lighter than the Pro Dry Pack, but that lighter weight comes with more vulnerability. A mouse easily chewed a hole into the Boundary material when I tested it, whereas Pro Dry Pack doesn't even have marks. What has he got, a trained mouse?
I know, right?
To be fair, the pack is not designed for high mileage traverses, now he tells me. The purpose of the Pro Dry is to swallow gear, keep things dry and safe for when the time comes to roll up that beach or gravel bar after a long day on the water. I paddled more than 500 miles for 2 months with the SealLine Pro Dry Pack 120 liter. Despite being dropped, dragged, accidentally abraded, and tumbled, the pack remains reflects minimal wear and tear. It's expensive and heavy, but is also reliable and will last. I would recommend this dry pack to anyone who is planning a serious trip. That is durable dry bag that can handle a whole lot of use. Trust me, the only time you may worry about this pack is when the checkout clerk swipes your credit card. From then onward, there's no need to worry about this pack and whatever contents you entrust to its inside. I 100% agree with everything. Maybe not so much about the weight thingy. Like I say, that's a 4-kilometer portage up into Hogan. Over a 5-kilometer portage, Dixon Bondfield. And I've been doing that for 15 years with this bag. So yeah, it's okay for.
I've never really worried that much about weight when canoeing.
No.
Because the portages are so short. Like, I remember, and I carried that thing for years. I found one year, I found this really nice flat rock that I would cook on, and I carried it. The thing was the size of a 12-inch frying pan, and I carried that in the bottom of my bear barrel
Oh,
for
dude.
years. I just wrap it in newspaper and use it every day at camp to make bread on or whatever. And it's an actual rock. I'm carrying an actual rock in the backpack, in the canoe pack.
We used to, when we were on a canoe trip, we would find a rock.
Yeah.
Like a piece of quartz or something. Maybe the size of a golf ball or bigger. And we would bring it home and put it in the garden.
Yeah.
We carry that around.
Yeah.
If we found it the first day, we carried it the entire trip. If we found it the last day, that's all we carried it.
Beckett collects like 24 of those things.
Oh. Well, I see where he gets it from. No,
This was a nice rock.
that's not a rock. This is a rock.
That rock was just under an inch thick, and it was almost circular, and it was like about the size of a 12-inch frying pan. And I still have it somewhere in my camping gear. It's
Probably with your passport.
It's a really nice rock.
It's with your passport. In a whisker basket somewhere.
Well, I remember the first time I cooked on it, it's like, well, I'm keeping this.
Were you by yourself? You would have to be because... Really?
No, I was with Siobhan on that trip. We were just the two of us on the trip that I found it.
Was that her first trip?
No.
Because she has to be looking at you thinking, and she still married you? You guys just celebrated 15 years, too.
Yeah, 15 years this year. 15 years on Tuesday.
And you're just proving our point. She lost a bet.
Took one for the team.
Took one for the
It's
team.
a nice rock. Like, honestly, I don't take it on every trip. And I
wouldn't take it on any trip.
I've had such bad luck with, the camping grills you get from Canadian Tire and stuff. Yeah. It's like it gets all warped and bent, and
that's why they're $5.
I've seen some nice ones. They're titanium, tubular steel.
Oh yeah, forget that.
And so it's like, it's like $150, $200 for a camp grill. It's like, no, for free. I have this nice rock. Next time I find the rock, I'm bringing it here.
Bring it here. We'll I got the fire pit outside. We'll cook a couple of steaks outside and talk about your rock. Wow.
It's a nice rock.
There's a nice rock. Wow.
Anyway, maybe I shouldn't have revealed that. Maybe I should have kept that to myself.
Hey, rock boy!
But it fits in the bottom of a bear barrel. It fits that round spot, so it never got broken or crushed or anything like that. I just found it on
but if you're making a quick little dinner, can you get the stone out of the... you got to empty the entire barrel just to get the stone from the bottom.
Can you imagine you go on a trip with the uninitiated and it's like, hey, I'm getting ready to cook. Can you grab my grill out of the bear barrel? Sure, where is it? Right at the very bottom. There's a rock in here. Yeah, that's the grill.
The one.
That's what you're looking for.
Is that why you had me carrying that barrel down the portages?
Yeah.
So you take the barrel.
So the 5 pound, the overall weight of an empty backpack of being 5 pounds, I'm not worried about it because I got a 5 pound rock at the bottom of that thing.
So you're starting at 10 pounds is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a nice rock.
Someday
I'll find a nicer one to replace it.
Hopefully it's a bit... times have changed. It could be a little bit thinner.
But do you know how...
Newer rock technology.
Do you know how you... what do they call it when you condition a cast iron frying pan? Conditioning? So when it's nice and conditioned and oiled up and seasoned. So this rock is nicely seasoned. It's blackened and seasoned and... that's why I have to wrap it in newspaper.
Maybe for Christmas, Santa will get you a new one.
That's why it's wrapped in newspaper on these trips, because it's
Wait
really
a minute.
greasy.
You're the one that doesn't want to put a pot over the grill, over the fire.
I wrapped it in newspaper.
Because couldn't you do that with a pot?
No, newspaper fall off a pot.
You could put it in a... I put my pots in a bag.
Well, Scott Robinson, I'm if I ever get a dirty pot, I'm going to be using his canvas whiskey and something. What does he call it?
Bourbon.
Bourbon, yes. Yeah. So he's got that canvas roll for like doing...
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them. So
So you're going to take, don't dodge the question here. You're going to take a newspaper wrapped, dirty, greasy, blackened rock in your pack, but you won't take a wrapped, blackened pot.
I don't want pots to get all dirty and blackened.
But the stone's okay.
Stone's okay.
Stone's
it's a
okay.
stone. It's a rock. In a pinch, I can throw it away.
Apparently not.
See, and that's the glorious part of it. Like, you can't just throw away a pod in the backcountry, but this is a rock. If I throw it away, it's just a rock, another rock.
Now
in
it's
the
a dirty
backcountry.
rock.
It's a dirty rock, sure.
It's a used rock. You've used it.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah, well, it's not like you're not going to live it down.
It's a nice rock.
Hey, rock boy! So we're winter camping this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Ottawa this weekend.
Correct.
And the following weekend is a Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show.
And then
I have been asked, am I going to have stickers? Because I am presenting at noon on Sunday following the Incomplete Paddlers canoe route.
Mm-hmm.
About the trip we took in the book where we followed the book. I'm presenting on that Sunday at noon, the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show. I will have stickers with me. If you see me, you're not sure if you're going to come on Sunday or not.
I don't know yet. I don't know if I go on Saturday or Sunday.
If you see us, just flag us down, say hello.
Are you going both days?
Yeah, I'll go Saturday, see everything, and then Sunday I'll go and see a couple extra things and chat with a couple extra people and do my presentation and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're at the show on Sunday, grab yourself some lunch, and at noon, have your lunch at the Adventures in Paddling stage and listen to me yabber while you eat.
Spoil my lunch?
Yeah, why not? If you're lucky enough, you'll be able to eat it off of Derek's dirty rock. Like a plate.
Yeah.
If you want some, I'll have stickers with me in that so I can pass them out. There is, last thing I've got here. Oh, sorry. No. And then the weekend after that, we're in Michigan at the Quiet Adventure Symposium. Again, we'll have stickers and stuff there. Make sure you come up and say hello. Even if it looks like we're unapproachable, we are not.
We are very approachable.
You should find that rock and bring it. Bring it. I want to see
it wasn't on our trip.
I want to see you get stopped in going over the border to Michigan. West with the stock. It's his rock.
It's my rock.
Yeah, it's my pet rock. I take it everywhere.
It's my cooking rock.
I don't say it's not illegal, is it?
I've cooked quite a few steaks. I've baked bread on it.
See, that's not going to be our new mascot. Derek's Cooking Rock.
Yeah.
Ye old cooking rock. You should find it and bring it. Again, we're there. Stop by, say hello. We should have. I'm supposed to pick it up tomorrow. Our new Paddling Adventures radio canopy tent thingy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be ready tomorrow.
Where are you stealing that thing from?
Everywhere and anywhere. The only other thing I got, I put on our Facebook page a YouTube video. We talked about REI laying people off and stuff. And this is sort of another opinion piece, but a very interesting perspective, saying that REI is not the problem. It's not the future of the outdoor industry, retail industry.
So it's
he goes
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, watch it, because he goes into it and he starts talking about all these different, companies that make outdoor gear, but they're under big parent companies.
Yeah.
So basically, it's one company has all these little ones. One company has all these little ones.
Yeah.
One company. So
corporate monsters.
Yeah. And he goes into about the buying online or buying mom and dad stuff, like from mom and pop, paddle shops, as opposed to big, conglomerate sort of things. A very interesting perspective. So go to our Facebook page, Paddling Adventures Radio Facebook page, and check the video there on that. Oh, and if you're going to the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show, there's also a post on all our social media with a discount code that you can get $3 off all your tickets. Somebody said today they thought it was just one ticket, but he bought like three or four tickets.
Oh, with our discount.
It applies a discount to all of them.
Cool. Right on.
And we are 1/3 sold out on our film festival.
Film Fest tickets.
Yeah, it's still a month away, so... if you're looking to get tickets, you better get them.
We usually get about 15, 20 people drop in at the end.
Yeah, so this year it might not be able to happen. So, other than that, I've got nothing else.
Neither do I.
Really? Okie dokie. Don't let me forget to give you a Guinness Zero.
Oh, yes, for Siobhan.
Yeah. So go grab a Guinness Zero, test them. There is a difference in taste, but not a big difference.
Not a big difference, no.
Yeah. So awesome. If you want to find out more about us, you can find us at paddlingadventuresradio.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X. Download or stream our episodes on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Player FM, and all your favorite podcast downloading sites. Or you can just go to the episode page at paddlingadventuresradio.com and you can stream or download all our episodes there. If you enjoy the podcast, please share it with friends, family, and fellow paddlers. I want to thank everybody for listening this week. I'm Sean Rowley.
And I'm Derek Specht. We'll see you next time.